What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Celtics Daily with me, Mike Zakarian, as we continue to try to figure out what the heck the Boston Celtics are going to do this offseason. And yet again, some more rumors started swirling, but this time around Jaylen Brown. But before we get into that, do me a favor, if it's your first time here, hit the little subscribe so you know the next time we're dropping some sweet, sweet content. Like the video, and then make sure to hit the notification bell. All right, enough of that. Let's go. Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated was sprinkling a little gossip out there that maybe the San Antonio Spurs think Giannis Antetokounmpo might be too expensive. Maybe they would have to give up too many different assets. Maybe they'd have to include picks, but also the former or reigning Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle. And Mannix started to pose the question, maybe the Bucks, not excuse me, the Spurs would be a little bit more interested in another All-Star, All-NBA player, but Jaylen Brown, mainly because the cost would be a little bit different. Now, again, I think the Celtics are only doing this if they get some sort of Godfather offer. However, Spurs have tons of Godfather offers. So for this type of deal to work, this is what it would have to look like. Financially speaking, for salaries to match, we'd probably get somebody like Devin Vassell, who's making $27 million this year and has a couple years left on his deal. Young shooting guard, when healthy, honestly, like can get the rock up there, fires the ball. Not really a facilitator. He's not going to play point. He's really just going to chuck for you, but a rangy guy that can stretch the floor, solid piece. But again, this is just so the money works. The real assets are going to be coming in the form of draft picks. But outside of Devin Vassell, they'd probably have to include one of these two guys, Harrison Barnes, who, is fine, but an expiring contract makes around $18 million. So that's why he would be included. If not him, it could be Keldon Johnson, who makes right around the same amount of money and has one more year, I believe, left on that contract. Keldon Johnson, former Team USA guy. I believe he was actually on Team USA when JB, Tatum, and Holiday were all on the team together. So maybe not Holiday. Was it Kemba? I think that's how long ago it was. Kemba Walker. Remember that? It was a while ago. Either way, doesn't matter. So those would be the two salaries to make it work. I don't think they'd include Rookie of the Year Castle for this, but then it'd be a lot of picks, right? And that doesn't mean the Celtics, like, I think anytime we say picks, a lot of people think, oh, well, why are they going to rebuild? Why are they going to completely rebuild with picks? That's not essentially what the Celtics would do. They're Celtics famously good at collecting assets and then sending them elsewhere to get other stars, right? But these are some of the options that they have. So the Spurs have 2 lottery picks in this upcoming draft, right? They have the number 2 overall pick, where they're assuming to take the Rutgers kid Harper, right? They also have the 14th overall pick. So that's 2 lottery picks this season. Now, they also have some really valuable stuff here where they have like the Atlanta Hawks 2028 unprotected first round pick. They also have a Chicago Bulls, I believe 2028 or 2029. That's like a lightly protected first round pick. So basically, I think it's eighth or worse, something like that. And then the other juicy one is the 2030 Dallas first round pick. Now, Dallas probably going to be pretty competitive for the next couple of years, but I mean, if you think AD and Kyrie have a tough time staying on the floor now, get ready for 2030. Granted, they did get that life raft of Cooper Flag thrown at them with the first overall pick, assuming they draft the first overall pick. But again, the Spurs do have plenty of first-round picks, that like juicy ones. I believe, too, they also have one of the Celtics' upcoming first-round, I want to say it's either 2027 or 2028, and that was from the Derek White deal from way back when. So again, the likelihood of this happening, I would say like 10%. I don't really think the Celtics are moving off of JB. I think this, like the Jaylen Brown thing happens there's 2 ways this trade happens with Jaylen Brown. Not necessarily with the Spurs, but with any team. One, you get an insane offer, right? That a team just bowls you over. They're like, we need Jaylen Brown now for our team to compete to win a title. So here's a Godfather offer, all right? That's one. The second is if new ownership is like, hey man, we just spent $7 billion on this. We're not going to spend $500 million on our roster. We talked $7 billion just to get the team, and now I got to give you a $500 million for our team to just finish, like, I don't know, 6th in the East, right? So if that is the case, and Bill Chisholm, the new owner for the Boston Celtics, is like, hey, listen, we are cutting costs, that could be the other reason. I don't think that's what he's going to do. He seems like a psycho Celtics fan based on all reports. So My guess is they don't like force their hand because again, you can get under the second apron by moving off other pieces. So that's the Spurs rumors off the top. I don't think again, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's worth keeping a note on. If the fact that Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated is reporting on it, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I do think we have to pay attention to it a little bit more than I normally would. Speaking of paying attention to normal, as we normally would, the Celtics draft picks. And I figured we could just give a little refresher on what the Celtics have coming up in the next couple of picks or the next couple of drafts. So because they've been very good, most of their drafts are at the end of the first round, which is why the Austin Ainge departure kind of sucked because he was the guy that was really good at identifying some of this late round talent. Shout out Baylor Shireman, although Jordan Walsh has not yet to pan out, but we might learn a little bit more about Jordan Walsh this year. So for this season, they have the 2028 28th overall pick, all right? So they picked 28th, but then they also have an early second round pick. So they pick 28 and 32. I mean, I guess there could be a world if there's someone picking in the early 20s that isn't bowled over by the talent that's there, that maybe they're like, hey, we'll take two shots at the back end to move up. So maybe the Celtics would trade 28 and 32 to get up to like 20 or 22. I doubt that happens, but anyways, two cracks at it there with round one and round two, 28 and 32. Then in 2026, they have their pick. They have their first round pick. That's fine. 2027, they have their first round pick. That's great. 2028, they also have their first round pick. Where is this? 2029, excuse me, is when the Spurs take their first round pick. So that's a few years. So the Celtics do have their 26 pick, their 27 pick, and their 28 pick right now. So if things go haywire and the Celtics have to tank in the meantime, it's not the end of the world. 2028, they do have the Spurs pick, as I mentioned, as well as their own. So they'll have two first-round picks. And then in 2030, they have their first. In 2031, they also have their first. And then for second-round picks, they've traded a lot of them. They've got two second-round picks in 2026. They have their own and the Portland one. And then they have two second-round picks in 2031 in their own and the Houston pick. So that is the upcoming treasure chest, if you will, of draft picks for the Celtics. Again, I wanted to bring that up not because it's like, ooh, get ready for the draft, but I do think a lot of those assets get moved. Maybe not this offseason, but next offseason as the Celtics have to retool their roster, assuming no Drew and KP. Al retires at some point. If it's not this season, maybe next season. So again, something to keep in mind. The other thing that happened yesterday in Celtics news, not even Celtics news, but Shaquille O'Neal just saying some crazy stuff on a podcast with Adam Lefko of Turner. And they mentioned, Adam was basically like, if Tatum's career ended today, would he make the Hall of Fame? And then Shaq went on a little bit of a rant being like, we're letting everybody in the Hall of Fame. Which, one, terrible Shaq impression. Two, sure, we are letting a lot of people into the Hall of Fame. That's fine. You want to have that conversation? Sure. I don't know if Tatum's that guy, right? So Tatum's been in the league, I don't know how many years, right? He came into the league in, I should have had this handy ready to go, in 2017, 2018. All right, so you do the math. I don't know. He's the 24-25 season, okay? Here's how many games he's played in every year, right? It's 80, 79, 66, 64, 76, 74, 74, 72 this past season, all right? So he's reliable. He's playing them games. Here's his career averages right now. He is averaging, for a career, 23.6 points per game, 7.3 boards per game, and almost 4 dimes per game, shooting 46% from the field, 37% from three, and 84% from the line. As a career, and he's been getting better every single year. He's coming off his best season ever with almost averaging 27 points per game, almost 9 boards, and 6 dimes per game. He's made the All-NBA team 5 times. 4 consecutive first-team All-NBAs. He was obviously NBA Finals champ. He was the Eastern Conference MVP in 21-22, the year they lost to the Warriors. He was a 6-time All-Star. And then, how many times has he finished in top 5 in MVP voting? He also won the All-Star Game MVP in 22-23. I do think he probably makes the Hall of Fame if his career ended right now. So yet again, just like former NBA players love to do two things. They love to gain weight when their career's over, and then they love to crap on current NBA players. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if it's like a thing mentally they need to do to make it feel like when they were there, they mattered more, or they want to make sure that people still know that they matter, even though that their career's over. Listen, guys, you know what you can do? Therapy. Therapy will do that too. You don't have to go on a podcast and dunk on everybody else. So I just thought that was a weird thing. Weird thing, Shaq. Rare Shaq L, or I don't know. Just spend some more time, you know, talking about like Papa John's and the General and Icy Hot and whatever else whatever other ads you have going on. Which, by the way, if you're a brand, reach out. You know what I'm saying? All right, NBA Finals started last night, and listen, maybe it's a good thing we lost to the Knicks. There you go. Here's a hot take. Maybe it's a good thing we lost to the Knicks because I don't know if anybody was beating this Indiana Pacers team. This is nuts. One of the biggest underdogs in NBA Finals history. They were road dogs last night. The Thunder were favored by 9.5 going into the game. Thunder seemed like they were in control the entire game, and then John Malkovich from Rounders came out and was like, hanging around, right? They were just hanging around, and then once again, on the road, Halliburton steps up, knocks down a jumper for his 4th game winner of the playoffs. This playoffs, not playoff career, this playoffs. Pacers steal game 1 in an exciting fashion. Maybe this Pacers team of destiny. There was nothing we could do, you know? There was just nothing we could do. So maybe it's good we lost in the second round so we could just hang out. All right, let me tell myself that. Whatever I need to do to feel better, you know? Game 2 is not till Sunday. It does sound like some more rumors, and it sounds like the offseason is going to start heating up here any minute as, again, the draft, I believe, is the 25th of June, so we have 3 weeks before the draft happens, but there does seem to be a lot of smoke around guys like Kevin Durant. I mentioned the Jaylen Brown. I imagine we see some draft picks get flung around. There was also some heat about KD is like going to the Clippers as a dark horse. I don't know. But that's where we're at right now. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Do me a favor. Just, hit the subscribe before you get on out of here. Appreciate you watching. Have a great weekend. We will be back next time.